tonight with another episode of Men Can Cook. And this one is titled Homemade Pizza Night. It's not really one of those things where just a man can cook. This is a great meal and a great thing that I like to do with friends and family, whether you're hosting a party or you're having a lot of friends over. This is a great way to get a lot of people involved in the cooking process. And what better way to do that than with pizza night? And homemade pizza night is very special to me. I've been doing it since I was in college. And I actually have some of the tools of the trade for homemade pizza night since my mother, the fly lady, bought them for me probably 25 or 30 years ago. A pizza stone, which I have in the oven right now, getting warm, and pizza peels, which are like a wooden spatula made for sliding the raw crust, raw dough onto the pizza stone. This meal, like I said, is very special to me. We've hosted a lot of friends, family, big gatherings, small gatherings, but it's always a fun time. We gather around the kitchen, we do a lot of prep work, and it can be a lot of fun. There's several main parts to this meal. One of them is the dough, the pizza crust. What we'll use is we'll end up using some all-purpose flour. We'll use some rapid rise yeast, and we'll mix that together with water and a little olive oil, and we'll make our big balls of dough. They will grow over here once we get those in there, and we'll use our KitchenAid mixer to stir it all around to get it nice and kneaded. They will set and rest and grow for roughly 30 minutes to an hour, and it's however big that you want them to get. And once they get to that point and you get ready to cook it, you can either third them or quarter them into smaller pieces, because this ball of dough will grow, and each one of those quarters, you'll take your rolling pin and you'll roll it out nice and flat, and then you'll take that raw crust whenever you're ready to cook a pizza. You'll put a little cornmeal on top of your pizza peel, and it kind of lubes it up so that raw dough can slide on and off of this and onto the pizza stone, and then you're ready to go. One of the other big things that we like to do on homemade pizza night is we try not to use store-bought sauce. We make a homemade sauce. And a lot of times, depending on the time of the year, if it's summertime and I'm growing tomatoes, I like to use aroma tomato or any type of tomato like that. This time of year, where we're in the spring, I like to use these clump tomatoes or cluster tomatoes, as you can see. They're very good. They're pretty meaty. They're not extremely juicy, which are great for making pizza sauce. We'll add about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of basil, and then a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of oregano. And then we'll add a bulb or two of garlic to add a little extra spice to it. And you'll put, you'll quarter these tomatoes, cut the tops off of them, put them in your food processor, and blend them up. And you're pretty much pureeing them. Once they're all pureed and ready, and the sauce is to your liking, it just sets and rests. And then you can start preparing all of your toppings. I like to fry some sausage and brown it, and it's just ground sausage. Have that on the side. Some people like to do Italian sausage. I like to do like a hot breakfast sausage. It's a little extra spicy. Also have the standard pepperonis and any kind of vegetables that you want to use. You can cut up tomatoes, sliced tomatoes to put on there. You can do jalapenos, bell peppers, mushrooms, you name it. you can put it on there. Some people even like to do pineapple, which my son loves to do. But these are all great toppings that you can put on your pizza. We've also experimented and done a lot of different types of pizzas besides just a red tomato sauce pizza. We've done a fig jam pizza that has, instead of the red pizza sauce, it has a fig jam on top of it. And I could actually do that in another episode. And you put arugula, sliced figs, and some, prosciutto ham that you can put on there, and some other types of meats that you want to put on there if you want to, and even mushrooms. At really, really good pizza. They're all very good, and one of the best reasons they're very good is the crust. When we're doing the crust, as I'll show you here in a minute, like I said, you can roll them out and you can go as thin or as thick as you want to. The pizza stone in the pizza oven is at 500 degrees. It cooks a pizza in approximately 5 minutes. So once your pizza is prepped and ready, and then you have your crust on your pizza stone, you put all your toppings on it, and then you slide it into the oven. And it cooks for 5 to maybe 6, 7 minutes, depending on how much stuff you have on it. I like a thin and crispy crust, so a lot of times I will pre-cook my raw pizza dough crust for 1 minute, and it solidifies it. It's almost like a little flash cook, and then I'll pull it off and I'll set it to the side. It'll cool down, and we can, then I can add all my toppings later. And then once I put it back in there, it goes to its normal cycle of doing about a 5 to 7 minute cook time, and the pizza crust gets really crispy. If you want more of a soft, crust, just, pile all your toppings on there while the dough is raw. Just be very mindful that you want to add a little extra cornmeal to the peel so that raw crust can slide off onto the pizza stone. I hope you love family pizza night. It is a great time to be with friends and family. Enjoy some fun stories. You might have a few mess ups, but it's always great to be in the kitchen and cooking, especially a fun meal like pizza, because it can be anything that you want it to be. It can be no sauce. It can be sauced up. It can be a lot of cheese. It can be little cheese. It can be a lot of meat. It can be no meat. It can be all veggies. It can just be however you like it. And that's kind of how we do it here, is everybody gets their own pizza. So they get to make their own size pizza. And most of the pizzas are around 12 inches. So there's usually a lot of leftovers. But what is better the next day than having leftover homemade pizza? So enjoy this video, and I'll give you all the recipes attached to this, and you're gonna love it. Homemade pizza night. Prepare everything with bowls, pizza peel, and a mixer, pizza stone, and an oven at 500 degrees. Prepare to make your homemade sauce with clump tomatoes or any tomatoes that you have. Dice them up, cut them in half. 2 cloves of garlic. Mince the garlic with a garlic mincer. Add your oregano and add your basil. Also add the minced garlic and puree them in your food processor. Start to fry your sausage if you want to do sausage. Brown the sausage in the skillet. Prepare your vegetables, slice them up. Here we're using banana peppers, jalapenos, tomatoes, and bell peppers. Once they're all prepared, put them in either dishes or paper plates. Prepare your cheese. I'm using mozzarella and Parmesan and powdered Parmesan. Here is the recipe for the crust. Prepare the water temperature at 110 degrees, no more than 115. Add the yeast. Stir it around till it dissolves. Once this is dissolved, put 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour in your mixing bowl. Once the flour is in the mixing bowl, then you will add your olive oil. You will add your water with your mixture of yeast. Also add the salt. Make sure you put your dough hook on your mixer if you're using a mixer. You can also do this by hand. Once you add everything together, also add the olive oil to it as well, per the recipe. Once this is done, it will have a nice clump of dough. You will still need to hand knead this. Once you're done hand kneading, put it in a greased bowl with olive oil. Cover it with parchment paper or a paper towel. Do the same for as many balls of dough that you want to do. For this day of pizza, we have done 3 different balls of dough. Now you can start to knead it, roll it up into like a log so you can divide it. You're going to cut it into a third. Then we're going to make a pizza crust out of this third. A rather thick one, but some people like a thicker crust, some people like a thinner crust. The more pizza dough you use, the thicker crust it will be. You can hand pat it out, stretch it out to as big as you want to. And if you want to use one like this that has not been rolled, put a little cornmeal on your peel. Put the dough on your peel so it can still slide off. And you are ready to cook this crust. You can also take it and roll it with a rolling pin. And you can roll it as flat as you want to. And it's easy to pick up. It's pretty strong. And you can put it back on the peel. And then you can slide it off onto your pizza stone. Just like that. And in no time, it grows, cooks, and you can save it for whoever wants to cook a pizza. This one is raw dough that we have put a pizza on, and then we have cooked. This is pizza night. If you have any questions, email flylady@flylady.net.